So this was my model for yesterday, and I had a collaboration photo shoot with a young photographer friend of mine. I started by using Cetaphil moisturizer on her face. This moisturizer is very reliable, especially when you don't know that your client might have sensitive skin. It works so well. And then I went on to use my Sweat Block Primer, a Nigerian brand called Motec. It has proven itself reliable so far, and so I'm cool with it. I use translucent powder to set her brows because I'm going to start with brows, and then I, put a little on her nose to control oil. So I started with the brows. Normally I start with skin, foundation and all, but I started with the brows because of the baby hair she had laid in front. I blended that in with my Milani concealer. I can't even remember the color right now. I went in with foundation. The foundation appeared to be a little dark for her, but I wasn't worried because I knew that I could correct that with my concealer while highlighting. So that is my Ezekiel powder palette. It's a mini powder palette. I used it to do some contouring on her face. My contouring is always subtle. You'll have to ask me to make it really pronounced for me to do it less subtle. And that was how I contoured her face. I'm doing the nose, as you can see. Voila. I used the powder palette, a brighter color than her skin tone, to actually also set the concealer I used to highlight her brows. And then I used the darker tone powder, like something close to her color, to set the top of the concealer that I used to do her brows. I said top of the concealer. I used to set the top of her brows. I'm using the same shade that I used to contour a cappuccino to contour her eyes, and that is my transition color and the main color of my eyeshadow. With the makeup was nude. I'm not too good at this voiceover thing. I think I'll learn later on. I really wanted to post this video without the voiceover. And this makeup was actually done yesterday, and I'm having trouble speaking in present and past tense. I'm blending, or I blended, and one thing with my makeup is that I blend and blend. I could use the whole day to blend. So I went in with my Enob eyeshadow palette. You see that color is my most used color to add depth to the eyeshadow. And I'm blending. See, filming this was very awkward for me. Normally I place my tripod by the side, but right now it's in front because the makeup space, I was using a friend's studio, and the makeup space there for visiting makeup artists is small, so I had very minimal space. Instead of going with a black eyeliner like I usually do, I went with this glitter liner and just put it at the base of her eyes, like 3/4 way. Did the same to the other eye. A little stained the lashes, so I have to clean it. And so I blended the makeup. That's the leftover translucent powder I used to set her face. I left some just in case there were fallouts from the eyeshadow, so I could use that to blend it out or to just buff it out. And then finally I went in with my Nutmeg compact powder to blend her skin, or to blend the makeup into her skin. Still blending. I went in with my blush. This blush is by Debbie Luster. Sometimes I touch like two colors to make it work for me. It might have seemed a little intense at first, but I always know that by the end of the makeup it will get toned down just a bit. At this point, I asked her, where is your other contact lens now? It must have fallen out. Then I noticed that the other eye had half blue and half brown. It's amazing. Her eyes are beautiful. That blue eye is glass-like. I don't know how to explain it. And then I asked her if some of her family members had the same eye color. And she said yes. That's amazing. I did her lips. I contoured with Avoir lip stain. This brown color is quite common. It doesn't have to be Avoir. You can use any pigmented lip stain to outline your lips. I remembered at that point that I had just purchased Beauty Line by Didi lip stain, a particular bright color. I think like rose. I think it's rose. Sorry, it's not included here. I just quickly, wanted to put this out there. But it doesn't have to be Beauty Line by Didi. It can be any similar lip color. It will still give you this beautiful nude look. I asked her to smack at this point. You don't do that with matte lipstick. That's the reason I don't ask people to smack anyway. So I just went in and blended myself after some time. I was actually supposed to be the one to blend it myself. Sometimes you just need a little assistance from whoever we're doing makeup on. And so the rest of the video is still about me blending. I blended that lipstick. At some point I felt I needed the color to pop a little more, so I whipped out my Eye Magic palette and went in for a sharper pink color. Blended that in. I think it looks better now. I went in with the white color from the Eye Magic palette, just to give me a little more ombre look. And then I noticed that the lining I did on the lips, on the perimeter of the lips, faded out a bit, and so I went back in with the brush I used to line the lips, used the leftover what was on it, and emphasize that again. I decided to gloss it up to make the lips pop more. And then I proceeded to line her waterline with a black liner. I normally use Merak liner or Marble. The black is very intense from these pencils. And for my inner palette, I picked up a color to highlight the base of her eyes, the inner base of her eyes. And then I used another matte color to that dark brown, that same dark brown matte color that I used to smoke out the outer base of her eyes. I hope it's English I'm speaking here. Anyway, you can see it so you understand. She's wearing semi-permanent falsies, so I only went in with my mascara on her lower lash line. Oh, her eyes are really pretty. And there I was highlighting, using my illuminating powder to highlight the bottom of, or the arc of her eyebrows and her nose and other points that need this powder, like the cheekbones. I put a little on her chin too, on her forehead, the leftovers. And then I used this setting spray, my Omari Cool setting spray, to set her makeup. Beautiful. And this is it. No filters, guys, just skin, just my work, the perfections and the imperfections. She loved her makeup anyway, and the photographer also did.